Hi there, and welcome back to part 2 of a rejection of Bill Craig's Kalam Cosmological Argument. Just to remind you what the Kalam Cosmological Argument is, it goes something like this. Everything that comes into existence has a cause. The universe came into existence, therefore the universe has a cause. The implications of the argument, as explained in part 1, are that the universe needs a cause because it came into existence, the cause of the universe, therefore it is implied that it is God. I'm rejecting premise 1, everything that comes into existence has a cause. And I'm rejecting premise 1 on the basis that everything that exists in the universe has already existed as matter or energy. For example, if I was to make a toaster and that toaster came into existence, all the parts of that toaster already existed in a different format. The atoms already existed, I'm just reforming them. So although the toaster came into existence, none of the material or the energy of that toaster came into existence. It already existed. The only thing is the idea of the toaster. The idea of the toaster came into existence. The label that we humans have put onto that object, the label of the toaster came into existence. A cat or a monkey looking at that toaster won't think it's a toaster. So that label is a very human construct. Therefore the argument then becomes, does that label, that abstract idea of a toaster, does that come into existence? Do abstract ideas, therefore, exist? Do they objectively exist? And this is where we got to at the end of part 1, and I will be continuing to investigate. So it seems abstract ideas could exist in the mind alone, as conceptualism suggests, but if the mind is physical in nature, then the abstract ideas themselves become physical phenomena. They exist in the mind, but the mind is effectively physical, so therefore the abstract ideas are physical. Universals are simply the rearrangement of pre-existing physical matter within the confines of the physically explained mind. Therefore nothing, not even abstracts, has come into existence. Nothing has come into existence. Matter has always existed in its finite amount, and abstracts, being effectively matter in the physical mind, have always existed and are just reformulated, rearranged. So that which came into existence was already there. It was just reformed, as I said. A physicalist or a naturalist worldview implies that abstracts are material in foundation. However, even granting that Craig is correct in his assumptions of the truth of realism, that abstracts exist objectively in some kind of different abstract dimension, assuming he's correct on that, can he use the notions of the existence of abstract ideas to infer a quality about the material universe at the Big Bang? Here I would again have to say that the position is untenable. At the Big Bang, the universe was an infinitely dense bundle of matter or energy. This is a purely material coming into existence, and remains the only material coming into existence up to this very day. As we have discussed before, everything else that comes into existence that is material has already existed in some other format. So this is a case of apples and oranges. Craig is using characteristics of one idea of reality, abstract ideas, and transferring them across to something else, the only material form that has come into existence. Craig is claiming that abstract ideas come into existence. He claims that these need a cause. He then claims that the universe came into existence and therefore it needs a cause. However, just because abstract ideas, in Craig's view, come into existence and require causes, it does not follow that the universe, a dense bundle of matter and energy at the singularity, came into existence and required a cause. This is analogous to saying that plants need roots to gather nutrients, and as such, all living things need roots to gather nutrients. Therefore, animals need roots to gather nutrients. Clearly does not follow logically. So, to conclude, firstly, the premise that everything that comes into existence has a cause can be shown to be incoherent. Physically, nothing has come into existence since the Big Bang, and even then, there are many good arguments to posit that matter has been eternal, and that we have countless Big Bangs, or Big Bounces, where time starts again and again. Nothing comes into existence per se. Things are just rearranged, reformed, to produce new things. But those atoms and molecules essentially pre-existed. It's the ultimate recycling. Secondly, under a physicalist worldview, even abstract ideas do not come into existence, but are reformed physical entities that make up our thoughts. Our minds are physically grounded. Thirdly, even if you believe that abstract entities do exist objectively, it would be fallacious, it would be wrong to apply the rule that all abstract ideas that come into existence have a cause over to a universe coming into existence and therefore a universe having a cause. It's just two separate things, chalk and cheese. This would also require a belief that the universe came into existence in the first place, as previously discussed. A universe coming into existence is a different thing than an idea coming into existence. Finally, on the idea of abstract ideas existing objectively, humans have an immense capability with our huge set of languages of creating ideas. However, language is a subjective labelling of ideas, very subjective. My idea of love is different from yours, is different from someone else's. My idea of redness is different from yours, and so on. In the end, it seems obvious that, since there is a seemingly infinite amount of ideas, that ideas are clearly subjective. They have no objective reality. A toaster is only a toaster because I say it's a toaster, born out of language and human culture and so on and so forth. This idea is not relevant to a hamster or a supremely intelligent alien that comes to Earth. Sees a toaster, it's not a toaster to him. It's a completely different idea. That object is a different thing. It has a different label to whosoever sees it. Thus, there is no objective idea of that toaster that exists outside of our physical reality, outside of the material world. The same can be applied to people. William Lane Craig, for example, does not objectively exist in some ethereal dimension. He is a conglomeration of atoms and memories and characteristics that he and others have labelled as William Lane Craig. To someone else he is Billy, to another Dr. Craig, whatever. He has no objective existence as an immaterial object, since everyone sees him in a different way. In this way, and taking into account other points that I've made, I do not believe that the first premise of the Kalam Cosmological Argument is coherent, and so the argument doesn't even get off the ground. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed a little look at the Kalam Cosmological Argument. If you've got any feedback or disagree with it or agree with the points that have been made, please put a little comment just down there on the comments area, and I'll be more than happy to try and address some of them. Cheers.